katika hii nchi. Naweza kuwapatia mbili peke yake. Kama wakati tulikuwa tunafanya demonstration ya high cost of living, ni Bunge La Mwanainchi ndiye ilianzisha, na baadaye ikakuja wanasiasa wakaimaliza. Kwa wakati huu tunasema ya kwamba hii maongelezi, sisi kama wananchi wa Kenya ndiye tunataka tukae chini na tuongee, tuondoe wanasiasa, sababu maongelezi zote ambayo zimekuwa zikifanyika katika hii nchi, wanasiasa ndio wamekuwa wakifaidika, lakini hii inafaa sisi kama wananchi ndio tufaidike nayo. Nasema hivyo sababu wakati election inafanyika ni mwananchi wa kawaida ndiye anaumia. Wakati high cost of living imekuwa juu ni mwananchi wa kawaida ndiye anaumia. Ni lazima sisi kama wananchi tukae chini na tujiulize nchi yetu tunataka iende wapi na ikue wapi. Na hapa ndiye wakati ambaye tunataka kuanza kuongea. Na tutaenda kama Bunge La Mwanainchi, tutakuwa hadi huko mashinani chini kabisa. Tuongee kutoka kwa ward level tukikuja hadi national. Na zile vitu zote ambaye tutapata tutaweka mezani na tukae na wale wakubwa wa nchi ili tupate suluhisho ya kudumu katika hii nchi yetu. Tumesikia watu wengi wakiongea, ama Rais William Samoei Ruto akiuliza aende wapi. Kenya hii, Rais William Samoei Ruto ndiye rais wa sasa. Yeye ndiye baba wa hii nchi saa hii. Na nikimjibu aende wapi, ili hii mazungumzo yaanze, tunataka Rais William Samoei Ruto aende aondoe wale vijana wetu ambao walishikwa kwa demonstration, waondolewe katika magereza na makorokoroni wote mali wako. Ndio hii mazungumzo ikue ya kila mtu. Rais William Ruto inafaa anyamazishe wanasiasa ambaye wanajaribu kuleta uchochezi katika hii nchi. Ndio hii maongelezi ikue ya maana katika hii nchi. Leaders, tunaomba leaders waache maneno ya kuchochea wananchi wa kawaida. Sisi kama wananchi hatuna uchochezi bana yetu, ilali ni wanasiasa ndio wanaleta hii uchochezi. Kwa hivyo nikimalizia, wananchi tunawaomba tukae chini, tujiongeleshe kama wananchi, maana hii nchi ni yetu. Tukiharibu hakuna mahali tutaenda, hakuna mahali tutatorokea. Ni hii ndio nchi yetu na tuna nchi ingine. Na hii maneno yetu ambayo tunataka kuanzisha itaanza pale kwa kijiji, ndio tujue shida ambaye yule mtu ambaye anaishi kwa kijiji pale chini anapata. Tukikuja hadi huku national level. Kwa hivyo hii mazungumzo imefunguliwa kwa mwananchi wa kawaida, uwe kipofu, uwe nini, bora wewe ni Mkenya na ulete shida yako mbele yetu. Tutaongea kama wananchi. Asante.
Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge La Mwanainchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Members of the fourth estate, fellow Kenyans and the general public, we are gathered here as Bunge La Mwanainchi to register our voices on the issue of the National Intergenerational Conclave Dialogue as proposed by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. It's a conversation that is going on right now, and we feel as Bunge La Mwanainchi, we want to make our stand known on that issue. So I will read our formal statement here. My name is Robert Kiberenge. I'm with the Secretary General Isaac Otieno. I am with the Salim Muganga, who is on the Advisory Council.
I'm with the ISA, who is also the secretary of the elections board, and other leaders, including Wikiaron here, who is on the youth council. So I will read a formal statement, then other leaders will make their off-cuff remarks. Our statement is titled "The Aftermath of Demonstrations and a Call for Intergenerational Conclave Dialogue." Bunge La Mwanainchi, a grassroots social justice movement in Kenya, has long been a platform for the ordinary citizen, the Mwananchi, to voice concerns over social, political, and economic injustices. Founded on the principles of inclusivity, equity, and civic participation, Bunge La Mwanainchi functions as a people's parliament, enabling public discourse and action on national and local issues. In the aftermath of the recent demonstrations, which were marked by tensions between citizens and state authorities, Bunge La Mwanainchi has taken a leading role in 1. Calling for justice for victims of police brutality and unlawful arrests, as well as compensation and reparations for victims of police brutality. 2. Demanding accountability from government institutions and security agencies. 3. Advocating for inclusive national dialogue as a pathway to resolve grievances and prevent further unrest. 4. Mobilizing communities peacefully to continue pushing for structural reforms through civic engagement. Bunge La Mwanainchi consistent presence on the ground and its connection to ordinary citizens has positioned it as a credible voice in Kenya's civic space. The movement continues to champion non-violent activism and grassroots-driven dialogue, reinforcing the message that sustainable peace and justice can only be achieved through inclusive participation and respect for human rights. Fellow Kenyans, we have gathered here this afternoon as a grassroots social justice movement to register our voices on the aftermath of the demonstrations that have been taking place in Kenya for the last 1 year, and most importantly, to amplify the call for an intergenerational national conclave dialogue. In the wake of the demonstrations, the movement bore the brunt of consequences, as many of our members were victims countrywide. Bunge La Mwanainchi being an unpolitically aligned platform for ordinary citizens expressing themselves on pertinent issues affecting them, wishes to play a major role in dialogue during this critical moment in our nation's history. The recent Gen Z-led protests, while sparked by genuine grievances rooted in economic injustice, public debt mismanagement, state corruption, and general exclusion, have also witnessed moments of confrontation, tension, and unfortunately, acts of violence, loss of lives, and mass destruction of property. We unequivocally condemn all forms of violence, whether from state security forces or individuals within the protest movements. We condemn police brutality, abductions, and detention without trial and extrajudicial killings. We equally condemn violent attack on policemen, looting and destruction of property. We also affirm the constitutional right to assembly, peaceful assembly, and civic expression, which must be protected at all times. The message behind the protest must not be lost. What we have witnessed is a loud and clear message from a generation that refuses to inherit silence, mediocrity, and impunity. Gen Z and the youth at large have challenged the constitution of this nation. While there are regrettable instances of violence during the protests, whether provoked or opportunistic, we must not allow these moments to overshadow the legitimacy of the calls for change. Accordingly, we demand: 1. Political leaders to immediately cease making inflammatory statements geared towards incitement and fueling more public anger. 2. Justice, compensation, and reparations to all victims of police brutality. Every single drop of blood must be accounted for. 3. Constituting an intergenerational conclave dialogue, bringing together all generations, classes, religious representatives, youth, women, professional bodies, unions, trade unions, civil society, people living with disabilities, minorities, marginalized, and the media fraternity. 4. Politicians must stay away from the dialogue. The dialogue must be free of the usual political rhetoric. This time we don't want politicians near this dialogue. It must not be the usual dialogues we have seen in the past. Our call: a national intergenerational conclave dialogue. Bunge La Mwanainchi, in collaboration with other people-centered movements and civil society organizations, now calls for a national intergenerational conclave dialogue to be convened within 14 days to address the root causes of public anger and to chart a new way forward. This conclave must be: 1. Inclusive, bringing together Gen Z, youth leaders, elders, women, informal sector representatives, civil society, religious leaders, government officials, and the media fraternity. 2. People-led, not dominated by political allies or scripted agendas. 3. The dialogue must be issue-driven, focused on justice, debt transparency, public participation in budgeting, police reforms, youth unemployment, digital rights, civic education, and equity in resource allocation. 4. The dialogue must be transparent and accountable. All proceedings must be made public and outcome-oriented. Bunge La Mwanainchi will be unveiling a format or a structure of the conclave dialogue and the issues to be deliberated. We urge the youth to continue organizing peacefully, not vandalizing, looting, and arson. We also call on the state to cease any form of intimidation, abductions, illegal detentions, extrajudicial killings, or surveillance against young organizers. Healing cannot happen without truth, and truth cannot flourish without space for dialogue. The future of Kenya cannot be negotiated behind closed doors. It must be co-created across generations, across classes, across tribes, and across regions. Conclusion: this is not about Gen Z. This is about the future of our republic, Kenya. It is time to stop talking at young people and start building with them. We call on the government, parliament, religious leaders, and all patriots of goodwill to answer to this call. Convene the intergenerational conclave dialogue. Give the people a voice. Build a just Kenya. Wanjiku is watching, the youth are awake, and history is recording. Thank you so much. I will invite the Secretary General, Mr. Isaac Otieno, to make his remarks.
Asante sana.